From CBN, it's the 700 Club.
Well, we want to bring it on with some email questions that some of you have sent in about the history of CBN. And Heather says, Pat, what was one of the best interviews or moments you had in all your years of television?
Well, probably the best moment that we had in the early days of CBN was when the Power of God came in, and the cameramen were weeping pools of tears right by their camera, and people were being slain in the spirit. I mean, that was when it was good.
I miss those days, but you know, one of the things I always remember is the walk you and Billy Graham did in Germany when the wall came down.
We were
that
there.
Was a moment in time,
I did a little tour of Eastern Europe and stopped into East Germany, and Billy was there, and we had lunch together and had an interview by the wall. That was a marvelous time. It
was a moment in history, really.
It was. Another one was when I interviewed Yitzhak Rabin in '74. He, of course, was assassinated not too long afterwards. It was a absolutely memorable moment, and I talked about what did he need, and you know, I made a commitment to stand with Israel that day, and it was a very moving time. But we've had some great interviews. It's hard to say which one.
I know, it is hard to pick one, isn't it?
The power of God has been so marvelous. I like when God comes in. That's what's important. When you have 1,000, 1,500 people come to the Lord during a program, I mean, that's what's really nice.
This is Josephine who says, Pat, CBN has been a major force for evangelism throughout the world. With such a remarkable past, where do you think God will be working in the future?
Josephine, I think what God is doing is continue to touch more lives. We're in the final harvest, and it's just a question of when is harvest over. We have had what some count as many as 500 million people have accepted the Lord. What's happening next? I think God is continuing that harvest until the last day. But we haven't got a lot more time, at least as I see it, and I may be wrong.
This is from David, who says, in light of Regent now having an undergraduate school in addition to its graduate and doctoral programs, what plans do you have for the future of education at Regent University?
Well, our long-range plan is to have a university that would rival Oxford or the Sorbonne during the Middle Ages, a real center of Christian learning. In the meantime, we're growing like crazy. We should hit a couple thousand in the undergrad in the next month or so. Beyond that, I would think in terms of online education, I'd like to see well over 100,000 students and they're making a major impact around the world.
This is from Jane, who says, Pat, what would you say has been the secret of CBN's success? Are there some key principles you followed to see such growth and accomplishment?
Well, the key principle is always humility. I give God the praise. Anything good that happens, he gets the credit. Anything bad that happens, I take the blame. You do that, and everything's okay. You start taking the credit for the good stuff, and God says, now, wait a minute, you've got your priorities wrong. We give him praise for everything good that happens.
This is Barry, who says, throughout your life, you've had to make some major decisions about what direction to take in a variety of settings. How did you go about making those decisions?
I've spent many times in prayer, days in prayer, weekends in prayer, seeking the Lord. You know,
You still do.
I still do. That's the only way to find out what's going on. Otherwise, you're just blindly, you know, struggling around. And you can make so many bad decisions. I can make so many bad decisions without God.
Well, I was just reading about how often Jesus went apart alone. If he needed to do that, surely we do.
Believe me, we need to. And, you know, I just had an operation, and unfortunately, by being under anesthesia for 10 hours, it leaves you a little bit not quite as sharp spiritually as you'd like to be. So you need to get back to that. Hey, they tell me that's all the time,
Happy
Terry.
48th.
Happy 48th, honey. You're a blessing.